Rays pitching staff has led the way over the past 16 games. But last night, it was time for the offense to pick up the slack. Tampa Bay's bats pounded out 17 hits, scoring 10 runs, highlighted by Daniel Robertson's clutch hit in the 10th. And the pitch, ground ball, base hit, Rays win it. Robertson punches it through the middle, and the Rays win it 10-9. Oh, what a battle this one has been. Tonight, Tampa Bay looks to continue its winning ways in Game 2 versus the Tigers. Tonight, this short homestand continues on the heels of an extra inning walk-off win for the Rays last night. The Rays have won 3 in a row, and tonight they will again square off against the Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball here at Tropicana Field with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays, as we all know, normally known for their pretty stout pitching. Well, the last couple of nights, the offense has gotten into the act, and boy, did they last night.
Dwayne, you read my mind. I mean, this is a team that's won 12 of their last 16 games and primarily being pushed and driven by that pitching staff. But you're right, in the last couple of nights, it has been the offense's time to shine, and everybody is getting involved. How about this? 19 runs, 26 hits, up and down the lineup, guys chipping in, a lot of multi-hit efforts, but look at the damage done with runners in scoring position, and that's where the biggest difference has been made. When it has mattered most, just like last night with Daniel Robertson, they have come through in a big way. It's led to a couple of good wins.
And earlier this afternoon, a big event over in Ybor, where the Rays unveil plans for a brand new ballpark. Rich Hollenberg will have more on that. We'll talk with Stu Sternberg during the telecast this evening about that. All of that coming up.
in 2 games over 500 this season and making headlines off the field as well. Earlier today, principal owner Stu Sternberg and the rest of Rays leadership unveiled their long-awaited plans for a state-of-the-art neighborhood ballpark to be located in the heart of Ybor City. They showed pictures, they talked about the details. It'll be the most intimate stadium in all of Major League Baseball, just about 30,000 seats available inside, and it will feature a translucent roof, among other innovative designs. Here's some of what was revealed earlier today.
Ybor City is the definition of local authenticity. It is brimming with a multicultural history, and it has an incredible baseball story to tell, too. Jackie Robinson stayed at the Jackson House. Babe Ruth cavorted at the Columbia Restaurant, and I encourage you to ask Richard Gonsmart to tell you some of those stories if you get a minute. And further, there may not be an area in the region, and it's my suspicion in the entire country, that is more ripe for the kind of economic injection a ballpark can provide than Ybor City.
I speak for the whole Rays organization, and the 20 years we've had here today with Vince as our founding partner, and I've picked up the ball here beginning in 2005, and we expect to be here for generations to come. And this 20, I'd like to do 20 pin that we're wearing, I'd like it to say 50, and I'd like it to say 75 at some point in time. And that.
Now, I know the people here are going to want to know who's paying how much for what. We do not have those answers yet. What we have is the scope of a project and the total cost for that project. And every bit as important, we have public servants, elected officials, an energized volunteer community group in Tampa Bay Rays 2020, and an owner and organization who are all committed to finding a solution to getting this project done, because we believe this vision can be truly transformative.
Well, if all goes according to plan, they will be playing baseball in a new ballpark in 2023. But in under 3 minutes, the Rays and the Tigers will be playing ball at Tropicana Field, where the Rays are 13-2 in their last 15 games. Dwayne and B.A. with the call coming up. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun.
Rays have won 3 in a row. They've scored 19 runs over the last couple games. Take on the Tigers tonight. And here's the Detroit lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Candelario, Castellanos, and Goodrum, the top three. Down the middle, Hicks, Martinez, and Rodriguez. Jones, Iglesias, and Reyes, 7, 8, and 9, and we're all set. Jamer Candelario in the batter's box. First pitch from Ryan Stanek. A fastball swung on and missed. 98, the top of the zone right there. Stanek in the game briefly last night when the Rays went 10 innings en route to a 10-9 win. Again, the Heat at 98, and the count is 0-2.
Well, you'd expect nothing less. I mean, Ryan Stanek has one of the best fastballs on the team when you talk about pure velocity. And in this openers type role, he's going to be in there for no more than 2 innings. So let it go.
Pitch is down, 1-2.
I'll tell you what's been coming along for Ryan Stanek are the secondary pitches. You know, he pitched, faced a couple hitters in last night's game, showed a really good slider. That split's coming along. All that to complement 98.
There you go. Wide there, and it's 2-2 as Candelario laid off.
I think he's taking this opening / starting a little too seriously. Going to be a 3-pitch guy now all of a sudden.
Well, you're going to start a game or open a game.
That's right.
Have more than just 2 pitches. Although that one right there serves him pretty well. He strikes out Candelario with a fastball.
Well, he got around to just overpowering him with that fastball. And this is what he's done in his 10 different opens this season. Now, that ERA is over 14 2/3 innings. He's given up 2 earned runs. Those came in 1 open, and that was back on May the 31st. And that was the second time he had done it. So his last 8 appearances, starting off ball games like this, he's given up nothing.
Well, he faces Nicholas Castellanos, arguably the best hitter in this lineup for Detroit, up in the number 2 spot. Fastball is too high. Castellanos had a 3-hit game last night. He's had 13 games now in which he's had 3 or more hits this season. Fouls it out of play, 1-1.
That stat is impressive standing on its own. What makes it even more so in the case of Castellanos, you look up and down this Detroit lineup, who's helping him out? Who's protecting him?
That's right.
I mean, he is the target. This is the guy that we're not going to let beat us, and he's still able to do that.
And he takes a strike now, down in the count, 1-2. And he's only 25 years old. And he hits the ball hard. That's something that people started to take note of last year. Back into left. Robertson back on the track and reaches to make the catch in line with the 370 marker. Well, Robertson out in left field here for the 2nd straight day and makes the catch.
Well, let's take a look at the rest of the Rays defense, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And of course, left to right in that outfield, you start with Robertson and then Kiermaier and Carlos Gomez. And across that infield, 3rd to 1st, Matt Duffy, Adeiny Echeverria, Willie Adames, and Jake Bowers. Wilson Ramos will be behind the plate.
Here's Goodrum. Pitch inside. Goodrum batting .253. A couple of hits in the game last night, and he's been showing the Tigers he has a pretty good bat in this shot. Into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. 2-out single coming off the fastball.
That ball got in on him just a little bit, takes it away from the barrel, but so much velocity coming in, you supply some of that power, and Goodrum just drops it into center. Now
You keep your eye on him over there, Detroit. Try to force the action here.
John Hicks will be the hitter. He's catching tonight. Entered the game late as a pinch hitter in last night's game and played first base. Fastball by him, strike one. Opposition hitting 146 off Stanek this year. This one disappeared.
Now the first two pitches here, Hicks has been completely overmatched. Really big and long swing on 97 and then chasing that slider. Really, Stanek can do whatever he wants here, whatever he feels most comfortable with.
And a cut and a miss. Doubled up, strikes him out. A base hit, and the man left, and we'll go to the bottom of the first. Kevin Kiermaier. For the Rays, we'll take a look at the entire lineup. Presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Matt Duffy follows, and then Daniel Robertson, Wilson Ramos, C.J. Crone, and Jake Bowers down the middle. Adeni Echeverria hits seventh at short. Carlos Gomez in right hits eighth, and Willie Adames, the number 9 hitter, at second base.
Now taking the mound tonight for the Detroit Tigers, going to be left-hander Matthew Boyd, and he has hit some bumps in the road here recently. Look at the first 13 starts, not too bad. That record even up, the ERA 3.23. But look at the last 4. It has not been pretty at all. He's lost 3 of them, the ERA of 10.59. He's given up 20 earned runs in 17 innings of work in that time stretch.
Yeah, and the opposition batting average tells it all. 202 in those early games and 329 in this struggling stretch he's going through. Kevin Kiermaier takes ball 1. Kiermaier, the 1-out triple in the 10th inning that set up the game winner last night. Pops it up to start this one right side. And the first baseman, now the second baseman. Boy, Ronnie Rodriguez playing first, came in, made the call. Goodrum there with him, and Rodriguez apparently said, okay, you take it.
You know, it was some early slop last night from Detroit that got them into some trouble. And this right here, not a great way to start it off. How about this catch by Goodrum? I mean, that's not an easy catch to make down there around the belt. But there's the miscommunication. And you're left with this.
Yeah, Rodriguez, very aggressive, called it, and then got out of the way, and that ball almost dropped.
It's not cool.
Duffy taking a strike.
never let him attempt to pick up the tab.
Oh, I dropped.
Oh, my hand doesn't reach into the.
1-1. The count on Duffy. It stayed wide. 2-1. Well, Duffy in the top 10 in hitting with that .307 average. It's a strike in, says Andy Fletcher. Fletcher in recent seasons has not been known as a big strike caller.
That's good news.
He's kind of gone the other way.
Why would you bring that up so early?
Well, he called a strike on a pitch that was off the plate in. That's a little different than what we've seen from him the last couple of years.
You cast a pall over the entire game with that bit. And I know that you have that info at your disposal. There's no reason.
I thought just the fact that we recognized that he called a pitch that was a ball to strike was pretty good news for you. There's strike 3. Not good news for Duffy, though.
No, and that's where you get locked up, because that pitch caught plenty of plate, and you don't often see that happen with Matt Duffy. Let's take a look at the Tiger defense, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we've got Victor Reyes, Jacoby Jones, and Nicholas Castellanos. Across the infield, third to first, Jamer Candelario, Jose Iglesias, Nico Goodrum, and Ronnie Rodriguez, with John Hicks behind the plate.
Daniel Robertson, last night's hero, takes a strike.
That's for you.
See?
Touche.
Flips it to the right side. Castellanos out there in right field. Tracked that one the entire way and made the catch. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the second, no score. W.B. Mason, Who-But W.B. Mason, the official office supply company of the Tampa Bay Rays. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Cruising into the second inning here in the middle game of this series. Rays 10-9 winners in 10 last night. Ryan Stanek, the opener here. Victor Martinez stepping in. Martinez starting the night hitting .243. Goes after the first one and skies it on the left side. Duffy, who was alone over there on the left side of the infield, makes the catch. One pitch and one out. A 14 pitch first inning for standings. Ronnie Rodriguez. Tigers got him out of the Indians organization. He's getting a chance to play a bit here with Detroit now at the major league level. Takes a fastball for a strike.
Well, and it's open auditions for this Detroit Tiger team going forward. You know, in the midst of a rebuild, and guys are going to get opportunities. Will they take advantage? Remains to be seen.
This is Echeverria coming up with this one. Throws a strike to first base. Echeverria so steady, not only with his glove work, but that arm is so accurate.
It really is, and it starts with, you know, putting himself in good position to throw. Good footwork out there. He's very smooth and athletic in all he does. You set your feet right, and all of a sudden you're on line to make that good throw all the time. And that one error was such a random, you know, it's one of those balls that eats you up, and that happens to him once a year.
Jacoby Jones fouls one out of play. Yeah, you watch a guy like that play, you start to take some things for granted. You run somebody else out there and you go, oh, wait, not everyone can make that play?
Yeah, yeah.
1-1 here on Jones.
Well, and that's the thing. The really, really good ones make it look easy.
Yeah.
So you just think, yeah, everybody should make that play until you, like you said, you watch some others and you're like, wow, we're lucky.
2-1 now. You know, and I think that's true. Good hitters make it look easy. You know, arguably the toughest thing to do. It's amazing how good hitters hit 300 plus. You go, oh, sure they hit that. It's not easy.
No, and you know what gets you, and this goes back to, again, having an opportunity to hit at this level in the National League, and with a pretty good idea of what I'm going to see when I go up there to hit. These guys that hit 300 year in and year out, the sequences that they face, wow, and still able to put up those kind of numbers. They're getting pitched backwards. They're getting moved off the plate. At least they used to be getting moved off the plate. You know, but they're seeing the kind of velocity and stuff. They're getting everybody's best shot, because when those really, really good hitters get in the box, a pitcher digs a little bit deeper to try to get them.
3-2 swung on, and Jones lifts it into right. It's Gomez out there to make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning. Wilson Ramos going to lead off the bottom of the second when we return.
Field, the Rays and the Tigers, and we're joined by one of the men of distinct honor here in Tropicana Field. Shane McClanahan, big left-handed pitcher who was drafted by the Rays in the first round, has officially signed now. Welcome to the organization. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. You were drafted a couple weeks ago, but you actually just signed recently. What was it like putting that pen to paper and knowing you're officially a professional ball player?
It was just awesome. I mean, dreamed about this since I was 6 years old, so it's just awesome to be here and be able to take in the experience with my friends and family. So.
Well, you mentioned your friends and family. You're a local boy. Grew up in Cape Coral, pitched in college at USF in Tampa. What's it like playing ultimately for the team you grew up watching and rooting for?
I mean, it's just honestly like a culmination of dreams just coming true. I mean, I grew up watching the Rays and coming to games, so the fact that I can one day potentially play in this field is just awesome to me.
Pitching-rich organization, obviously. Who did you follow? Who did you look up to? Maybe who did you model your pitching style after in the Rays?
I loved watching David Price play. I loved the way he competed, and I loved watching his mound presence, and that's just one of my favorite players I've grown up watching. So I'd probably say David Price. I had a conversation with Snell today, so he's a cool guy, and learned a lot and picked a brain about a few things. So
not a bad guy to trade a couple of trade secrets with, huh?
Having a pretty good year.
Not too bad. Last question for you. I know your first move is going to be to the Gulf Coast Rays. What are your immediate and long-term goals now that you're going down there?
I'm just going to do whatever I can to, become a better player and, on and off the field. And, I'm aware about what I can control and, hopefully sooner rather than later be pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays here.
Well, that's the dream, and hopefully you see that dream realized sooner than later. Shane McClanahan, thanks for joining us. Dwayne, back to you guys.
All right, Rich, thank you. And Shane seems to have a pretty good game plan going right there.
He does, and he's a good interview.
Yes, he is.
He'll be a fun interview.
Yep.
How about this, too? The big lefty with the big heater, getting close to triple digits, signing that contract right-handed.
Yes, yeah.
How about that?
Well, the Rays like people who can do a lot of different things, and that might be an entree into something more. Hey, I'll tell you, though, the other thing is, those lefties tend to stick together, as you know.
Yes.
And he's already chatted there with Blake Snell. Ramos has struck out and a strike to Crone. And boy, what a great experience that has to be for Shane McClanahan. Come in, sign the deal, come in, chat up with the lefty here, Blake Snell. There they are.
Yeah, I mean, tall, lanky lefties. I mean, a lot that you can get from a guy like Blake Snell. You think about his career, and we've seen that come to life here over the last couple of seasons, where he once was and where he is now. What a journey it's been for him.
The other thing, we have another young lefty who grew up a Rays fan, followed the Rays, watched them, came out here. Yarborough was like that over in Lakeland. Here's C.J. Crone lifting a high foul that's going to be out of play. So this franchise here long enough now to have generations not only of fans, but they're starting to get some local talent in the system.
Yep.
Which never hurts. That's always a fun experience.
Oh, my gosh. You can't even imagine. I got that opportunity with Cleveland. And remember what that was like. Same thing that these guys are going through. And it is like nothing else. It's the greatest. Pitching at this level is, or playing even, is the greatest thing ever. When you get to do it in the town, close to the town that you grew up, in or around, the team that you were rooting for as a kid.
Fly ball short center. Jones is going to be there and make the catch, and Crone is the second out. We saw, we just had a shot of Alvarado throwing in the bullpen there. Last night in that 10-inning game, the Rays used 9 pitchers. And, of course, Archer started work 3 1/3. And Kevin Katz said everybody who pitched last night would be available with the exception of Hunter Wood.
Yep.
He pitched 2 2/3. So here they are starting Stanek in the role of opener. Bauer pulls it foul up the right side. Jake Bauer's up here starting the night hitting .240. So all hands on deck pretty much, with a couple of exceptions down there.
Well, it makes perfect sense, too, because nobody went long enough. I mean, when you're jamming 9 guys into 10 innings, Hunter Wood ate up, 2+. Everybody else, an inning or
less than that. So
Yeah, they did get, after having 9 pitchers last night, they did get 6 innings out of Archer and Wood. So then you had 7 guys covering the final 4
for 12 outs.
Yeah,
that is matchups.
How about that?
That is playing the matchup game.
Yep.
And it worked. And thanks to this offense, you know, they needed every bit of the 10 runs they got.
Bowers takes it inside. It's 3-1. Bowers 240 as we mentioned, but he's hitting .310 against lefties and facing one tonight. Pops it up short right. Goodrum out from second. Under it and makes the catch. So we're going to head into the 3rd here. Tigers and the Rays, no score. Military personnel serving overseas, watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome to those in countries around the world, aboard naval ships at sea, and thank you for your service. The Rays bring on the hard-throwing left-hander, Jose Alvarado. Jose Iglesias leads it off. Leans back from that fastball at 96, 1-0. Iglesias had a big hit in the 4-run 7th inning last night for Detroit. The numbers on Alvarado. Chopper foul in front of Dave Clark, the third base coach, and down toward the bullpen. 1 to count. Stu Sternberg, conference there, getting ready to join us in the bottom of the inning. That's a strike. Iglesias tried to check. Andy Fletcher says he went around.
And Jose's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Because
that's a great look, right?
It was. Well, he was trying to talk his way out of it as soon as it was called.
Two and two. Yeah, and there are times when Alvarado doesn't give you a lot of time to think about what you're going to do with that bat up there.
No, and he, you know, working as quickly as he does at times, and then the stuff that he features, how overpowering it can be.
Well, Stanek made 23 pitches, a couple of innings, gave up a hit, picked up a couple of strikeouts in the scoreless opening outing again.
I'll tell you what, he has really taken to that role and has been impressive, very impressive in getting these games off and running.
Two count. Victor Reyes is on deck. He's a switch hitter, as is the following hitter in this inning, Candelario. 4 switch hitters in this lineup for Gardenhire tonight. Fly ball into right. Gomez back there now makes the catch. One gone in the third. Here's Victor Reyes. Reyes, Rule 5 pick. Getting a good look here of the Tigers. Strike as he shortened on that, attempted to bunt. One and one. Ball, 2 strikes. Into right field. Gomez closing is there, racing toward the line to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down for Alvarado.
Getting some work out there in right field. Some good positioning there. Allowed Gomez to get to that ball as easily as he did. Kind of shading over there in right field. Takes that line drive away.
Remember Candelario. There was a strikeout posted by Stanek in the first. Alvarado's first pitch is down, 1-0. Dropping in there for a strike. Alvarado in the game briefly last night for just a third of an inning. Ground ball. Echeverria handles that. It's short. And it's a 1-2-3. Top half the third. No score through 2.5. Adeiny Echeverria about to step in to lead off the bottom of the inning. Echeverria, then Gomez, and Adames for the Rays against the left-hander Matthew Boyd. Echeverria goes after the first pitch. And it's our pleasure to welcome Stu Sternberg to the booth. Stu, nice to see you.
It's great to see you again, and thank you both for coming out today for the announcement as well.
You've had a busy day already with the unveiling of the design proposal of a brand new ballpark, and it's a ballpark, it's not a stadium.
Well said. It would have been easier if last night's game would have ended as it was supposed to. That extra hour sort of backed me up, but yeah, we went at it pretty good. It was a day that we've been waiting. Sorry, I've got to mark that down. It was a day we've been waiting for quite a while, and I think we hit on all cylinders.
Well, there's a couple of renderings of the ballpark.
That's my favorite
right
there. That was the one going back, looking inside. The opening for the ballpark, if you could imagine Tropicana Field, the open air part of it basically goes from Dex Imaging all the way over to where the 2011 wild card banner is. And then the depth of it would be basically where the bottom of the Coke bottle is to the top of the Coca-Cola lettering. So imagine that entire area there, open air, right? And then above it, you've got another 90 feet or so of glass. And so you guys would have the greatest benefit. You just look right out.
Yeah,
You're staring at Ybor City right here, and right behind you, we've got the same opening that'll open right to downtown Tampa.
Well, we have the best seat in the house to begin with, and you'll enhance it then.
Well, what they didn't say is that we're moving the broadcast booth out to the outfield.
yeah, thank you. Thanks so much.
Anything for you guys. You know how I love it.
Yes, I know. Love like that. I'll tell you, though, it's when I saw the renderings of it, a couple of things I really liked about it. And one, I like the location, the fact that it's 30 miles, you're going to have 1.6 million people around there.
Yes,
which
you
is,
notice that.
Which is really important.
That's the key. Yeah, if you draw a circle, where we are now, we love our home here. We put a lot of money into it. The 360 you're looking at right now, which didn't exist. Dwayne, you've been here since the beginning, and you know what the place looked like then and all the years subsequently. It creates a great environment for for a bunch of activity, and I think we've done that. But the fact of the matter is, right now we've got the water on one side, the water on the other side, and the best we can do to draw more people or a circle around it. So when you draw that circle around where we're potentially getting this new ballpark is 1.6 million, as you point out. Where we are right now, a 30-minute drive is actually the smallest number of people in all of Major League Baseball. Somebody would correct me on it, but I believe it's 800,000 or so.
Yep. And when you get those people in there, there are going to be varied opportunities for them. That's the other thing. That's the two things I like: the location.
You paid attention.
And the second thing is all of the different varieties where fans can come and they can watch a game in a pretty traditional way, but they can watch a game in many non-traditional ways.
Some you might call oddball, like which I know that you guys in the booth here appreciate that. One of the things we're contemplating, expecting, would be to have a waterfall out in the outfield, sort of where the Fox Sun sign is right now, and we could have seating right adjacent to that.
Gomez on the move, and he steals that and keeps that.
He's doing great on the bases,
on the
I'll say. So yeah, there's that. There's a sandbar. This part of it hasn't been fully fleshed out. We have used Populous, who've done 2/3 of the baseball stadiums in the country to this point, and many arenas and stadiums around the world. So this ballpark, they're from Kansas City, but they're the best by leaps and bounds. But what we expect to do, and we have to do, is bring in some local architects and local designers who really get the, sort of like the last mile, right? To really insinuate what goes on in Tampa Bay, specifically to Ybor, and bring that inside. We've done a great job conceptualizing it to the outside, how it flows right into the streets in Ybor and to the whole grid of the city in Tampa. And I'm talking about things that, are second nature to us right now because we've been working on this so long, but it'll become more apparent in the months to come.
Ground ball toward the hole, deep short.
Right.
Iglesias got a glove on it, and here comes Gomez. He's going to try to score. He's in there, the ball loose. And down to second base goes Adames.
How do you like my no? That was pretty good, huh? Nobody listens to me around here.
No. Jose Iglesias was listening to you. He was not paying attention right there. A little bit late getting that throw off. And Carlos Gomez right here, he is going to be extremely aggressive.
As is the coach. Right?
Yes. And caught Jose Iglesias by surprise.
Nice slide,
The
nice
throw.
slide.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Gomez just ran through the owner's stop sign and scored.
Nobody, like any other fan, right? Whatever the coach, everybody's always wrong, and you want to fix it yourself. Now that it's happened, way to go. Way to go.
There you are. So the Rays get the first run.
Wait, how do I score all that?
Of the night.
That's a single.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, we're gonna give him a hit.
Go to Dwayne.
Yeah, give him a base hit. Moves to second on the throw to the plate.
I got that. I have
Give
a
him a
very
run batted
small
in,
box
too.
to write in here with my big fat pen.
Now, a bunt attempt by Kiermaier. Strike one. More on the ballpark. As you discussed, trying to, in the final analysis, the more you go down the road, try to localize it. But just from the renderings from the exterior of the ballpark, there's going to be a major effort to incorporate Ybor into the exterior of the ballpark.
Yeah, the one.
There you go. That's
No
going
wonder
to
you guys are called so easy. It's easy to see from the
base
street.
hit. Yeah. Now runner's going to try to score, and he will. Adames
You might have me
crosses
here
the
all
plate.
game, boys.
You're doing a great job. Kiermaier winds up at second, and the Rays take a 2-0 lead.
So I'm scoring that the same way onto second on the throw, right, Dwayne?
Why not? Although, we might talk to the official score because Kiermaier was full speed ahead.
That's the thing. Kiermaier, every time he puts a ball into play, he's thinking the defense has to keep me from getting to second base. And if they allow that opening, that's what his goal is. Every time he puts a ball in play, especially into the outfield, ground ball up the middle, you better be hustling in, cutting it off, and getting it into second base. Because if you're not, Kiermaier will be standing there.
No.
I think he was kind of disappointed standing up going into third last night on the triple.
Just a little pause. So they'll give him a base hit and a run batted in second on the throw through.
Go Rays.
Yep.
Yeah, so incorporating it, that side that faces Ybor, which is the outfield side, will have all of the bells and whistles what Ybor is known for. And when you get to the other side that faces down the channel side in the city, it'll have a different feel over on this side of the equation. And again, this is the sketching. These are the renderings. So there you are right now. So here we are. Yeah, this is a beauty. I like the pink sky and everything else. But
so this would then be the Ybor side.
Yes,
right here.
right along here.
Yep.
So right here, basically. And so that's all. It's got all of the trappings of Ybor, and it reaches right into it. And then the home plate side will be obviously opposite that. That would be the outfield. But the nice thing is we anticipate you have it closed down on game day, sort of like goes on in Camden a bit, although I hate to say it Yorkie way, up in Boston. Don't like to give them anything up there. So once you get once you get into that area, basically you'll be able to come in and out of the stadium to the street level. Street trucks, food vendors, back up to the ballpark. And it'll be outdoors. You're never going to have to go through a set of doors to get through there.
Well, let's look at some of the specifics. We had heard that it would be a smaller ballpark, and for fixed seats, it'll be the smallest in the major leagues.
By a good deal, yeah. We call it intimate. A couple of the reasons for the smallness of it. There won't be anything approaching a bad seat in the house. And in addition to that, when we say seat, we talk about the literal seat. What it enables us to do by bringing the number down are making the seats wider, making them swivel in places, having the backs go back. You go into some of the older parks especially, they get jammed in. I'll talk about Fenway again. They've got maybe a 16-inch wide bottom, and you go on an airplane or a bus or anything. These are going to be generous. So fans will have a more comfortable seating experience. In addition to that, where we have the bowl, you'll be able to get around everything much easier because there'll be fewer people. We're able to have wider concourses. The restrooms, more restrooms because they're not taken up by seats. Larger restrooms and less crowded restrooms. Now, the thing I'm most excited about, So if you look down here, right here in the Trop, where see the interior of the walk around right in here, that would extend through the entire ballpark, even maybe another 15 rows down. And instead of having a concourse behind us, everything would be in front of you. So you'd walk around the whole place like that, maybe 20 rows from the field. And just the entire, there's no reason to go out behind you and back. All the food stands and whatnot will be out in left field and right field. And then we would have a huge amount of seat delivery. We don't anticipate the drinks being spilled over, lines over at the concourses, and the concession stands and everything else. Things will be kept in front of you. We'll make it. Whoa!
Here's
That is
Ramos
gone.
getting hold of on deep to right, all the way to the wall, and it's gone.
That would have been out by a mile in Yankee Stadium.
Second deck.
Ramos unloads a 3-run blast right there.
You guys are fun to hang out with. We just score some runs, huh?
I was just thinking Stu Sternberg may be hanging around in the booth for quite a while there. You got a great inning going on here.
Oh, that's why I love being here when we're up, right? So, yes. Go ahead. You could recap what's going on.
Well,
you don't need to hear me right
That's number 14 for Ramos. We'll recap. Nobody don't miss
They
anything.
saw it.
Don't worry
We're
about
good.
that.
You're professionals. I know how it goes. So that's one thing, to walk around so you never have to leave and go out. You'll be able to see your kids, your wife, your whoever, just at a distance. And then all the things that we have planned and programmed out in the corners in the outfield. We've got a fair pole, not a foul pole. I don't know how you feel about that, Peter.
I'm fine with that. I am absolutely fine with that. Let me ask you this. With all of these, all the things that you're talking about, this process, this vision coming to fruition, how long did that all take? Too long?
No, it was fun because it was fun stuff. It's great. You know, once you see these guys who are so good at it, the Populous guys, and they bring 5-6 people who've built a ton of these parks. And the thing that we did with them, we talked to them in 06, 7, and 8 when we did the one we had proposed down here with the sale, and they also did our minor league and spring training park down in Port Charlotte, which you're familiar with. Whoops, we're coming back, I guess. Okay.
So Crone out on strikes.
Can I stick around a little?
Have
Sure.
a big
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Well, they better not score then.
You've got some good things going here. The Rays lead 5-0. Back in a minute. Nothing lead. Stu Sternberg stopped in and dropped 5 runs on the board here in the bottom of the inning for the Rays. So we'll go to the 4th and we'll keep Stu for a little while.
Well, let's drop another 0 on this one here. Now
That'd
this
be
half.
good. Yeah.
So as we said, so the fellas from Populous, they get in and it's like kid in the candy store because tell us what you did, tell us what you did. And each and every other park they've done, they really made their name with Camden. And there have been some iterations on Camden since, whether it's Pittsburgh or San Diego and San Francisco. You take the best of this, best of that, And we said to them, forget everything that's happened, throw it all out the door. Let's start new. I don't want, I don't want an old facade. We want a modern, sleek, something that could be iconic in Tampa Bay, something that is really forward thinking and forward design. Because this is something, if it comes up in the 20s, is there through the year 2060, right? It's a little scary. Well, beyond my lifetime, right? Not Dwayne's or yours, but certainly mine.
Well, so what I hear you saying is that this could be something that's iconic to Tampa Bay.
The Skyway Bridge is something right now. We think this is a design element, especially in a downtown corridor and Ybor, that transcends even that, and especially that, to be something that really is known nationally and potentially worldwide as a game changer. Certainly in stadium design and for baseball stadiums, it just blew the cork off.
And the other thing that I found very interesting is that this ballpark potentially becomes a facility that is year-round use for everybody.
So we're not playing ball because it is so open. We expect to incorporate cooking school, because God knows we've got to feed 30,000 people. We know we're going to have kitchens galore and everything else. Why not use that on all the other days? We're going to have park-like areas out in the outfield you're looking at now. There's no real way in. This thing is just going to be open and porous to the public. Why not use it, especially on days when it's even hotter or rainy, and people can come in and run their classes or yoga and things like that. We're talking about medical, because as you know, what we have to do, and we get to do with the training, with our training staff and the way we have to take care of these players. Why not open that up and create something that can go further? Nutrition, all the things that we're doing behind the scenes now for our players and with our players. As you know, it's changed dramatically, since we've come in, and then, and everything that's involved with that. Why not share that and grow that with the citizens? So yeah, year round, and we're talking about a large playground in the outfield, splash park, splash pads. So it's activated outdoors and just flows right in. What we'd love to have happen. If you ever, I don't know if you're in Manhattan, there's 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue, there's 6.5 Avenue. And they just created this avenue where you walk through buildings to get up the streets for about a mile, if you haven't seen it. It's just, there's no street, just buildings. So we anticipate this being something, somebody wants to get from Ybor across, they walk through the park, walk around, take their skates, go skate around the concourse, go out the other end, and, have a way at it. Eat inside, we'll have food trucks and all that. So this is our dream, but again, it's a long way from all those specifics.
Best case scenario, what would a time frame be on that?
The open, again, everything going ideally, and if any of you have done, or anybody at home, you've done work on your home, it always costs more.
Yeah.
We think we've got that, we believe we have that under control. It's already enough. And we want it to be less, and we're going to do our best. We've already engineered it down to that point, but it always takes a little bit longer. Opening pitch, April 2023.
Wow.
Again, there's a lot of work to do to get it there, but it's realistic and it's a goal.
Yeah. Well, you exude the enthusiasm and the excitement about this project dropping in here. What's the next step now from here?
We're now that it's been unveiled, so to speak, we would there we go. We would anticipate really accelerating talks with Hillsborough, with Tampa, to obviously see how this thing is going to get financed and paid for. In addition to that, now that the business leaders and community leaders have seen it, they can touch it a little bit and get a sense of what kind of support they can put behind it, with sponsorships and naming rights and all those things that are really going to go into our ability to contribute as much as we possibly can for this ballpark.
Yeah, both Castellanos and Goodrum have struck out. Hicks up here, and Alvarado gets the jump on him for a strike. Well, it's an exciting time. There's no question what this could mean to the ball club and to the community across the board.
Yeah, we think it energizes it, and if you close your eyes and open up and you see what's been done in Washington, you guys have been to every park, and the San Diegos and Denvers and what those areas were like before, even Cleveland, Baltimore, before
Denver.
Denver
with Coors Field.
Outstanding. Before these ballparks came in, some of them happened in a matter of 2-3 years, others took 7 or 8. but each and every time it was just fertilizer for an area. And this is an area right for it, and it is, as I like to say, it's of, by, and for Tampa Bay. So let's talk about our team tonight.
Yeah,
we're 2 over.
Well,
We're tanking, right? We're doing a great job tanking. We were pretty confident, but after that start of the season was, we didn't lose focus on it.
And I'll tell you something too about the club. We've talked about it on the air.
Fun.
You know, forget about last year's club, whatever you thought or didn't think about it, but this is a different team. The mentality, the emotional side of this team with the makeup is so
That's
much
the word.
better.
That's the word. The makeup of this team. These guys do not quit. I mean, they are a Terminator. They are Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Terminator 1 in pieces, and he just will not stop.
Yeah.
Well, Hicks strikes
Struck out the side.
Stu, you
Guys,
come in,
thank you for
you
the
score
great job you
5
do.
runs. You Boy, what an inning it was in the bottom of the third, and then the 1, 2, 3 top half of the fourth for Alvarado striking out the side. So here's Jake Bowers to begin the bottom of the fourth against the lefty Boyd. And the pitch is wide to Jake. Echeverria next, and then Gomez. Balls, no strikes. Are you tired or rejuvenated? A little of each, maybe.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. It was a long day.
Yeah.
You know, getting over to the event and seeing everything unfold and getting a chance to get that first look.
Yeah.
That was interesting when he was talking about that.
Back of first here, glove by Rodriguez, unassisted.
That back panel.
Yeah.
You know, that little wing-like, and it makes perfect sense now because it was like, it looks aesthetically pleasing, and you're thinking, that's a cool look, but I wonder if it's functional. Well, it's functional in keeping the sun.
Yeah, blocks the sun and the heat.
Yeah, and that allows you to be able to more efficiently keep the place cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if we got into it in any detail, but that translucent top. We'll work on that. It's not going to be completely clear because that would accumulate heat in Florida.
Right.
So they're going to address all of that, but
there's that panel
on the left is the panel you're talking about, and I think it makes it look really great.
It does.
Check swing and a foul ball. There it is, a wider shot there with the cityscape in the background and Ybor right there. You see the Selman comes right by there. So home plate, and it would appear like the first base right field line would be in line with the Selman. That's a foul ball caught by Castellanos. So it'll have some features that other ballparks do not have. That's by design. And the other thing we talked about a little bit right at the beginning, those glass panels in the outfield. They'll be there. You can see through them, but you can open those.
Yeah.
They will stack, which is really great.
Yep.
Carlos Gomez.
And what a difference that makes. You know, I can remember, you know, playing out in Arizona in Bank One Ballpark at the time.
Yep.
And we would play at times with the roof closed, but they would open up those panels out in the outfield. Now, they would be nothing like these. I mean, this is so much prettier than that. But even that, letting that outside in makes a huge difference.
Castellanos takes care of the pop fly to short right by Gomez. We're headed into the 5th inning already, and it's 5-0 Rays. Brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers. By Eldorado Furniture, a different kind of furniture store for over 50 years. And by your local Ford dealers. Jamie Schultz, the new pitcher for the Rays. 2 innings for Standing, 2 for Alvarado. Schultz in here to face Victor Martinez. Schultz entered the game last night, had trouble with his control. And that has been the story for Schultz throughout his career in the minor leagues. Great arm, and at times extremely impressive, and other times that control will forsake him. 2-1 in 27 games at Durham, and that .691 represents some hard work to get that down, because that was up about 12 for a while.
And you can see the number of walks. You know, you're talking about 28 plus innings, 22 walks. I think it's really smart, and you know, you've got to pick the right spot, and Kevin Cash obviously doing that here with the 5-run lead, but getting him right back out there the next night. You know, wash that that appearance from last night away and get right back to work.
Ball 2 strikes.
You don't want to take a young pitcher, have an outing like you did last, and then sit and let it marinate for 2, 3, 4 days. All of a sudden they're building things up a lot bigger than they really are. So getting a chance to get right back out there on the horse can be helpful.
High fly ball lifted into right. Gomez just on the edge of the track makes the catch. Well, that's out number 1 here in the 5th. The Braves pitchers strike out 10 hitters tonight. Visit CanesStrikeout.com for a printed home voucher to take to Canes Furniture within 7 days and receive a coupon for 2 free tacos and chips at participating area Tijuana Flats locations. Restrictions apply. Ronnie Rodriguez Pitch is up. Ball, no strikes. Cut the miss at 96. You got to be quick on that. Well, that's what excites you about this guy.
And it's easy. You know, he doesn't have a real laborious delivery. He's just kind of very simple, and then boom.
1-2.
Nice and smooth 96. Those pitches like that have a tendency to jump on you a little bit.
In a bit at 97. Might have felt the tailwind on that pitch in there.
For sure. For sure.
And Schultz says, hey, I think that was just on the edge there.
I tell you what, I mean, a couple more inches and it's a no-brainer. Here's the curveball, and look at the buckle he gets from Rodriguez. The duck, really.
Fastball foul back, 3-2 at 97. Rays have 5 runs on 3 hits. They made a walk and a hit batsman count against Boyd. And a foul ball. A little hardballed here. That one in 96 was fouled back, 1 out. Jones is on deck. And he got him there. Fired the 96 right by him. Well, that's 6 strikeouts for Rays pitching.
All kinds of tied up on that swing. And this is the one thing about big time velocity. You know, they want that pitch away. It ends up in, and it still gets the result you're looking for.
There's 96. How about that?
It was almost like he didn't see it.
It's up here somewhere. One and one. Two balls and a strike. Two. You actually see hitters react to Schultz. You know, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about a guy about perceived velocity.
Oh yeah.
You know, a little more than what the gun really registers. A little piece of this one. The gun registers plenty with Schultz. 95, 96, 97, and there are times when hitters react as if it's even above that. And beyond 96 or 97.
If you have the ability in between innings here, just rewind to the first pitch of the Jacoby Jones at bat and take a look at that swing at that pitch. Swung at it like it was 130.
And he's out on strikes right there. 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the 5th coming. 5-0 Rays. On-field seating in the Papa John's bullpen box. Host your group in this private party area located just steps from the Rays bullpen. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or email group sales at raysbaseball.com for how you can have all the fun down there. Strike to Willie Adames. Ball, 2 strikes. Adames. Then back around to the top of the order. Kiermaier and Duffy against the left-hander Matthew Boyd. And Adames is out on strikes. Well, that's 5 in a row retired by Boyd since the 3-run blast by Ramos. Kevin Kiermaier bats for the 3rd time in this game. He singled home a run and scored in the 3rd. It's a high fly ball down the left field side toward the bullpen, and that's going to fall just short of that low wall there. Reyes had a long run to make and could not catch up to it. Kiermaier's triple last night of the 10th inning that set up the game winner for the Rays. Ground ball. Goodrum at second. And that will be the 2nd out of the inning. Matt Duffy. Looking for his first hit. Been caught looking twice tonight. 305 for the year. Started the night in the top 10 in the league. Started 8th in the league in hitting. The pitch is down. So far tonight, the Rays have stacked all their offense in the 3rd inning. Boyd has given up 3 hits, a walk, and a hit batsman, and they all came in that inning, culminating in the 3-run home run by Ramos. There's a base hit the other way for Duffy. So he's on for the first time. This is what he does.
You want to go away? He's going to go away. Left that pitch up too. That makes it a little bit easier for that hitter. Duffy pops the hole.
Daniel Robertson makes a fastball too high. 1-0. Robertson hit by a pitch again. He's going to start to give Cron and Gomez a run for their money. Cron's been hit 14 times and Gomez 11.
I think he'll catch him just by virtue of the way that teams attack him. You know, there are an awful lot of pitchers that try to exploit Daniel Robertson on pitches in at the belt.
Oh, throw to first. Duffy started to move over there. And throw low. They got Duffy, but they didn't tag him out. That throw got him.
No, schoolyard, he's out.
Yeah.
Not the big
right.
leagues.
Look at that. Uh-oh. Yeah, Robertson was hit by a pitch in every game of the New York Mets series. 2 balls, no strikes. move over there. Robertson has been hit 8 times. Half of those on that road trip. And again, a lot of attention being paid to Duffy. Swing and a miss. Slider started up. Robertson now with a 2-1 count. Foul ball straight back, going to be just short of our level. The count is 2-2. It's Wilson Ramos on deck. Count remains 2-2. Attempted a scoop over the low wall, didn't go well.
Glove or no glove?
No glove.
No. Wow. There we go.
The glove greatly increases your odds, as we've seen by Joey Wendell in left with his glove. The more glove, the better.
If you're talking about the Joey Wendell version, it's a near certainty the play will be made.
Yep. Runner goes. 2-2 is fouled back. And finally, as the pitch was made, Duffy was off. But a foul ball, and he'll retrace those steps.
Well, Matthew Boyd has a very deliberate delivery to the plate, and it can be very slow. He gives up a ton of stolen bases for a lefty.
Yeah, here's the thing about him. This year, 12 steals in 13 attempts. He picked off 6 guys last year, only had 4 stolen bases against him.
Well, he will pick guys off not because the move is the best move, but because of almost the way he got Matt Duffy going over there and catching him on first movement.
Well, a man left on. 5-0 Rays through 5. Single homer run. Daniel Robertson hit by a pitch in front of the home run by Ramos. jumped on the first pitch and drove it out to right field. Another home run to right field for Ramos. Number 14 on the year overall. And it's 5-0 Rays. On to the 6th inning we go. Jose Iglesias to lead it off against Jamie Schultz, who had a 1-2-3 fifth. A couple of strikeouts in that inning, and he misses on that first pitch to Iglesias. Two and 0. One now. Three balls and a strike. It's Victor Reyes on deck. Ball 4, so leadoff walk after the 1-2-3 fifth.
And the only thing that that concerns you about that, a leadoff walk you don't want, obviously, getting later part of the game and with a lead. But it was the 3-1 miss, and you want to make sure that Schultz is able to get back in line towards home plate quickly, because a 3-1 fastball, all you're trying to do is throw a strike, and that ball was yanked well out of the zone, down and away.
Up and away.
Kyle Snyder, I'm sure, getting ready to make a quick trip.
He finds the strike zone at the knees, 1-1. Schultz getting an opportunity to come up from AAA with Chaz Rowe on the disabled list with the meniscus tear. Runner takes off, pitches ball, and the throw is right there. Eventually popped loose, but after the tag had been made, and Iglesias is caught stealing.
Why? I mean, you're down 5-0. Nice quick throw by Ramos.
Yeah, look, took it out and rolled out. Says, "Hey, look!" But the play was long over. Yeah, big cut and a miss by Reyes. Counts 2-2 on him. Here it is again. Watch him. Hey, look! Such chicanery.
Well, after a questionable decision, that was a pretty good move.
Yeah. You can't trust anybody. Reyes is out on strikes. Strikeout number 3. Stanek worked 2 innings in the opening role. Stanek, a 9-game scoreless streak for Stanek. Alvarado worked 2. Schultz with an inning and 2/3 under his belt. Now he faces Candelario. Jamar Candelario. The pitch is a strike. Wide there, now 1-1. 1-2. Adam Kolarek in the bullpen, the lefty. Lifted into left. It's Robertson making the catch. And the Tigers are out. Rays have given up just one hit through the first 6. 5-0 Rays.
Chevy Prospect Spotlight, and we go to the Princeton Rays of the Appalachian League. Wander Franco, 17 years old, and he's almost matched that number with his hitting streak. A 14-game hit streak coming into the night. That's best in the league. He has 2 doubles, 3 triples, and 3 homers already in 18 games. And Mark Twain was the one who said youth is wasted on the young. Not on this guy.
No, and I'm going to tell you, the Rays, the more we see this and check on what's going on in the minor league system, and we've seen a combination of some of the young talent with the major league team. I'll tell you, there's a lot of talented youth here we're seeing.
Now that's the lifeblood of any organization, especially when you look at one like the Rays. I mean, they're going to have to draft well, develop better, and have these guys come up here and do their thing. We've already seen it with a couple of these young players. You think about what Jake Bowers has been able to do, and Willie Adames getting an opportunity, even a guy like Johnny Field, opportunity, Joey Wendell.
1-2 here on Ramos.
And then you think about what's on its way.
Yep. And Rich drops a little Mark Twain quote in there too. We'll add that.
I wondered who said that.
Twain was also the guy who said that the coldest winter he ever spent was a summer in San Francisco.
Amen.
And he was apparently going to Giants games at Candlestick Park in those years. Big chop down to third. Candelario makes the throw across to Rodriguez.
I was fortunate enough, that first year, 2 years actually, with Arizona, getting a chance to play in Candlestick.
Yeah, not pleasant.
Not at all.
No.
I mean, the clouds would move quicker than normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It felt like you could reach up and touch them right over the top of the stadium. And by the way, as a visiting player, specifically a pitcher, you had better pitch very well in that stadium, because if you got knocked out early and went and sat on the bench, and now you got to head to the track.
It was a long walk
across the field,
yes,
in front of their dugout to the right field corner.
That's right.
And you're getting lit up the whole way.
Yep.
So you had better.
Because both clubhouses were down there.
That's right.
In the right field corner.
That's right. division in 1999, and it was the last season there at Candlestick, and destroyed that clubhouse. I don't even think they cleaned it. We came in for the ball game the next day, and the smells were off the charts.
Foul ball back. Well, you know, every day about 3 o'clock, the winds would come up, and they would just ruin a lovely day. This one deflected by Boyd, and the throw is still in time. Iglesias against Crone. 1-6-3. Best time to be in San Francisco for summer, September and October.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're absolutely right.
But Candlestick was no fun. Jake Bauers up here. The base is empty. One ball, no strikes. Long one, but well fouled up the right side, out of play. It's 1-1. Souvenir right there. It's a good night. Share the experience. Breaking ball stayed in. Bauers kept waiting on that one to break, never did, and he bailed at the last moment there. Another breaking ball, and he fouls it 2-2.
Yeah, that one didn't have a lot of break to it either, and Bauers took tried to drive that ball out of the yard.
Bauers came into the game hitting a little over 300 against lefties for the year. The count is full. He sees a lot of pitches.
He really does. He does not give it bats away.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't mean he won't go up there and be aggressive and maybe make it out on the first or second pitch, but he doesn't give it away. That one right there, though, looking for something else, obviously.
We're through 6. It's 5-0 Rays. Fox Sports Sound is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by your local Honda dealer. Rays with a short homestand just this series against the Tigers. Adam Collarig. Here comes pitcher number 4 on to face the Tigers in the 7th, making his 3rd appearance for the Rays this year. Nicholas Castellanos will be the hitter. Hit a ball to the warning track and left his first time, and then struck out the last time up. This one is down. Larry in the game for a third of an inning last night. And the Rays eventually prevailed 10-9 in 10 innings. Chase on the changeup. It's 1-1. One. Lewis Coleman up in the bullpen. Was in the game briefly last night. Rays got to him for a couple runs. On hop out to Adeiny Echeverria, who makes the play. Castellanos is 0 for 3 in the first out in the 7th.
Well, Kolara got him to do exactly what he wanted. You know, you throw that pitch away that's on the edge or off. You'd love to see a hitter try and pull that. Very tough to get enough on it to get it into the outfield for a base hit, and there's your first out of the inning.
Go Goodrum. 1 for 2. His base hit came off Stanek in the first, and that's the only hit the Tigers have. Strike one. He's hitting .339 against lefties. Stanek, the opener for the Rays. Tap right side. Caleri grabs it. He's going to run it in himself. Caleri angling toward first and makes the play.
And Dwayne, this is that play you work on in spring training, and that's why it's so imperative for the pitcher to get off the mound, a good break. This is your Bonefish Grill fresh catch of the game, because you saw where Jake Bauers was. If this ball gets by Kolarek, there's no way that Bauers is going to field that and pitch it to get Goodrum in time. And so it is up to the pitcher to try to make that play on as straight a line as he possibly can towards first base, and that was very well done. That's tutorial well done by Kolarek.
John Hicks takes a strike. A couple of strikeouts tonight for Hicks. Chopper, that'll be charged by Duffy. Barehanded thrown. It's not going to be in time. So Hicks is an infield hit. Hit it too softly for the Rays to record an out. Great effort, though.
There's nothing that Duffy could have done. He's coming from a long way, has to go way low and then throw from down there. Just wasn't enough time to complete the play.
Now Victor Martinez will turn around to hit right-handed. Strike one. Pop to third and the fly ball to right for Victor Martinez. It's 1-1. the Rays could hang on to win this one. They've had such a nice stretch at home. You go back a month now. Go back to the 11th of June. This is July the 10th. The Rays are 12-1 at home. Lifted up the right side. Foul. It's Gomez. He's got to play and makes the catch to retire the side. Suddenly it's seventh inning stretch time. Rays lead 5-0. Rays hold a 5-0 lead. They're coming in to hit in the bottom of the seventh inning. We'll take a look at what the Rays have done at home over that stretch. We referenced 12-1. The bullpen's been great. The starters have been excellent as well. You can't get much better pitching than that.
No, and 4 shutouts on top of it. You know, we've often said that the Tropicana Field, you have got to make this a difficult place for teams to come in and win ball games, and they've done that for the last month.
Echeverria jumping on the first delivery from Coleman and driving it foul into the seats. 6 innings for Boyd, and Coleman makes his 25th appearance. 3-1 with a .391. The Rays got him for 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning last night. And a base hit to the left of Candelario. Echeverria is aboard. The MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here for just $39.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. The subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this sale. Gomez. The pitch just ran right away from him. That slider, strike 1.
You think about the arm angle, you think about the fact that he throws across his body, he really creates some leverage to be able to do that.
It's blocked by Hicks. 1-1. Roller left side. Candelario down to second. They get the force, and that's it. So Gomez reaches. Adames will be the hitter. Adames was part of the 5-run third. He picked up a single following the walk to Gomez in that inning. It's fouled off his foot. Well, here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your local Honda dealers. Rays leadership discusses the Ybor ballpark, and Orestes will break down Matt Duffy. All begins at 11:30. So an early start for the Rays, wrapping up this homestand.
Breakfast with the Rays.
That's exactly right.
Nooner. Love nooners.
Tap foul, 0-2. Take care of business early and the rest of the day.
Amen. Amen.
Left it into center. Jones will be there to catch it. Adames is out number 2 of the inning. Gomez remains at first for the top of the order, Kevin Kiermaier. Kiermaier single, drove in a run, and scored a run. Ball came in the 5-run third. The Rays had a 5-run first inning last night, a 5-run third tonight. And they needed everything they could get last night too after that 5-run first. They won it in 10 innings, 10-9. 1-0 count on Kiermaier.
And always nice to be able to win a game where the pitching was a little bit shaky. Yeah, because this pitching staff, they've been, well, since the middle of May, they've got the best ERA in baseball by a wide margin, by the way.
Yep.
And so, you know, they have a rare off night, and your offense is able to come out and score in double digits, and you still win that game. That is a huge lift to that team.
And on the other side of that, when you have a team struggling the way the Tigers have been, and then they come back and lose that game, well, it's tough for them to recover from that.
Yeah. I mean, and you're looking for anything.
You're thinking, what in the world do you have to do?
Right. Right.
4-pitch walk to Kiermaier. Pushes Gomez into second. Matt Duffy will bat. Matt singled in the 5th inning. Eight strikeouts for Detroit pitching. A couple of walks now. Duffy checks on a pitch down and away. Duffy came in at 307, 1 for 3, staying right there at 307. Two and 0. visit out there while the Tigers start to get the bullpen busy again. Pitch is wide. 3-0 to Duffy. And another walk. 4-pitch walk to Kiermaier, 4-pitch walk to Duffy.
Yeah. Sudden the wheels are getting a little wobbly here for Coleman.
Daniel Robertson got the big hit. Coors Light refreshing finish, and there it was. The finish to last night's game in the 10th inning, the game winner.
Well, infield pulled up, runners on first and third, and Daniel Robertson just thinking about hitting that ball hard, and he goes right back up the middle. You knew exactly, or he knew exactly how he was going to be pitched in that situation. Stayed right through it.
Two outs, bases loaded. Robertson hit by a pitch and then scored on the home run by Ramos in the 5-run third. Pitch is a strike. Too low, 1-1. Trouble for Lewis Coleman here again tonight. Two and one. Run the count to 3-1. So he's given up a hit and 2 walks. Bases loaded, a 3-1 count. Ramos is on deck. Strike just on the corner. So it's a full count.
That fastball right on the edge, and this will allow everything to be put into motion. Off go the runners.
And a tap back over the mound could be a tough play. Throw to first in time. Iglesias gets him, and the Rays will leave the bases loaded. No runs a hit. We're through 7. Rays lead 5-0. Tonight's Geico great moment. This day back in 2013, Ben Zobrist delivering the 4th walk-off hit of his career when the Rays knocked off the Minnesota Twins 4-3 in 13 innings. The Rays will be headed to Minneapolis after tomorrow's game. They'll meet the Twins in a series leading up to the All-Star break. Twins started the day 8.5 back in the Central. They won 5 in a row. And Cleveland losing 3 in a row. Still 8.5 dividing those two teams. Adam Kalari back out to begin the 8th. First pitch is a ball to Rodriguez.
Kind of shocking that Cleveland is not further out in front when you look at the teams that comprise the American League Central. You know, the Rays have done great work in that division. Going in there and taking some names. It's a down season.
Strike 2-1 Indians. They have 5 men on the All-Star team.
That's right.
Yep.
And they've really underachieved. They're winning that division by default. And yeah, 5 of them.
Yep.
Well, the Rays have 1.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a Central right there. It's 8.5 now. Minnesota trailing at home against Kansas City 5-1 tonight. Yeah, Cleveland up by 8.5. 5 men on the All-Star team. Line drive going to be caught by Adames at second base. On the way in the 8th. Well, they better find a way. Better find a spot for a tall left-hander wearing a Rays uniform. Blake Snell.
Yeah, he of the single digit, number 4, if you will.
Really. They better get with the program, get it done.
It's
I mean, would be a travesty not to.
Yeah, and the entire country feels the same way.
Yep.
This isn't just a Tampa complaint and a Tampa issue. This is all around the game. People have recognized and just talked about how awful that is that he's not on there right away.
Ground ball right side. Adames takes care of this one, so he catches a line drive, picks up a ground ball. Well, here's some of Blake Snell's handiwork. Pretty dominant there. 12 and 4 at 2.09 ERA. Yeah, he certainly deserves it, and it's baseball's black eye, not his.
And he's handled it perfectly.
He's been great.
He has handled it perfectly. I mean, he could, go out there and probably have a whole lot to say about not being on that team, and he has not. He's let others take up for him, his own defense. It's not his own defense. They're taking up for him. He doesn't have to say a word. He's just
the way he has handled this is right in line with his whole development as a top shelf pitcher. And it shows you something about him and about his makeup and his intelligence in the situation. And this one hits Iglesias. Pitch came in on him. And the Rays asking if maybe he swung. He did not.
That's one of those instances too, Dwayne, where Kolarek will go with a more traditional delivery, not be so sidearm, more 3/4, and that ball got away from him right off the wrist. And you could hear Iglesias yelling. That ball caught him flush.
Well, without saying, you hope that he's okay, but it's a dangerous little spot there, and they're going to stay in. They're going to lift Iglesias. The Tigers will get a base runner here with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Ducey will enter the game.
Your attention, please. Return for Iglesias, number 37, Jim Ducey. The batting, 22, Victor Reyes.
So Ducey is running. Reyes. Victor Reyes is the hitter. Chases that one, strike 1. One and one now. Popper on the right side, foul. Bowers after it. He's got it. Man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rays lead 5-0. The Rays holding this lead. And our Toyota inside look. After all those pitchers last night, the Rays had 9 in the game. Tonight, 4. Stanek, Alvarado, Schultz, and Kolarek. 2 innings apiece. And they have held this Detroit lineup to no runs and just 2 hits.
Kevin Cash coming out hot too with Stanek and Alvarado. Heavy artillery for the first 4. And by that point, they had that 5-run lead.
Victor Alcantara is the new pitcher. 27 games with Toledo. 4-1 into 268. His first pitch to Ramos. Here's a strike. Rodriguez moved from first to short with Iglesias out of the game, but Ducey is now at first base after running. Two-strike count. Rays and the Tigers tomorrow afternoon in the wrap-up game of the series and this short homestand.
Yeah, this just becomes another city on what ends up being about a 2-week road trip.
Yep.
You know, when you come, you're going for a week, you come back home for 3 days. And by the way, it's 3 days that involve night, noon game, fly out. That's not even really, you can't even call that a homestand.
Yeah. Tapper and Valerio over to Ducey, and that's the first out in the 8th inning. Yeah, I still continue to think that somehow the Rays must have kicked the schedule maker's dog or something, because this schedule continues to be, I try to be removed in making this evaluation, but I think it's the worst I've ever seen a team have.
It's the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm not, being, listen, every team can point to a part of their schedule and tell
Yes.
you, what do you think about this?
Sure.
Listen, without a doubt, every season that happens. This has been nonstop since the first trip of the season. 4 3-city, 10, 11-day trips to start the year. Not even that, but just the manner in which the one trip.
Yep.
Leave St. Pete, fly out of Tampa, hit Baltimore, then hit Kansas City, then hit LA. So you've got that 3-city trip. You're moving in the wrong direction. You're in 3 different time zones.
Yeah.
Come back to the Trop for a week and then head right back out to Seattle, Oakland.
Yeah, to crisscross the country again.
Then to come back to D.C.
Yes.
and play on the East Coast.
No, it's just ridiculous.
It is absurd.
Yep. So they get off the road, you think, well, you survive those and you go, well, good, then the last road trip for the Rays, a 2-city trip. But when you throw this in at home for 3, and it's really, it seems less than 3, and then you go right out to Minnesota again, it's just like another 2-week 4th-city trip.
Yeah.
Boom, pops out to 3rd, 2 gone.
You can hardly unpack. You don't unpack.
No.
What you do is you open it up. You may do a load of laundry or 2, and you repack for tomorrow afternoon.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I mean, listen, there are far greater crimes, but as far as Major League Baseball schedules go,
Oh, yeah.
this one stinks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we all feel the same way. We're blessed to do what we do and happy. And I think most of the guys playing this game do as well. But, it's a competitive situation, and you have to believe that a schedule like that affects the edge that you might have or hope to have. You got to fight your way through it as part of the competition, but that doesn't diminish the fact that it's a bad schedule.
It's tough on the fellow. Yeah. Hey, listen, thank goodness for the Rays having such a young and resilient club.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Two outs, bases empty, 1-1. The count to Bowers. It's 2 balls and a strike. Popper left side, shallow left, and that ball's going to drop. Bowers will wind up at second base. Well, if the defense deployed the way it was, you could see it was going to be a difficult play. Rodriguez trying to get out there from the left side. Reyes couldn't get there in time from left.
And this ball up in the air for a long time. Right there, you're going to see Candelario pulled over as a shortstop, ball up in the air, and here it comes. Now watch him take a peek back right there, seeing if Reyes was going to be able to get in there. Then you got to try to find the ball again. Nope, you're not going to get it. I'll go for it. You start to hear footsteps, and then that happens.
Bowers gets a double. Pitch to Echeverria is low.
That's tough too when that ball is, you're going back at that angle and you're taking your eye completely off the ball, which is tough to do here anyway at Tropicana Field to make sure, or to see if your left fielder is going to be able to make it in there in time.
Ground ball toward the middle. Rodriguez has this one, and the throw to first in time. So a double and a man left. We go to the ninth. It's 5-0 Rays. On to the ninth inning we go. Well, the Rays have a 5-0 lead. Adam Kolarek has 2 innings under his belt. He'll be facing the top side of the order, Jeimer Candelario, 0 for 3 tonight. And the pitch is up. 1 ball, no strikes. If things stay the way they are, Alvarado would pick up the win. He's looking for his first win. Now it's 1-1. Kolarek trying to pitch 3 innings. So Alvarado looking for his first major league win. There's a high pop down the right side. Bowers down in the bullpen, and he wound up overrunning that one. He got down near the bullpen home plate area. So Adames racing down there, and the ball falls in between the two of them.
Yeah, interesting. It's a tough angle. Look at the way he's looking up at that baseball and then realizing right there, I think I've gone a little too far.
Foul ball out of play. Five runs, 6 hits, no errors, 6 left for the Rays. Foul ball back. Actually, there'll be 5 men left on for the Rays. And a souvenir.
That's why you stay until the bitter end.
Absolutely.
See it through.
Yep.
You never know.
You pay your money and you stay for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you're rewarded sometimes. That's going to be a base hit in the hole between short and third. So Candelario picks up hit number 3 for Detroit. Nicholas Castellanos will be up there. Good effort there by Duffy, as you normally see from him. Castellanos takes it down. You know, this is part of what Kevin Cash talked about when Kalari came back up. When we saw him last year, it was kind of a hitter matchup here and there, but they've talked about extending him. That's a hot shot up the left field side. Extra base is coming. Candelario is going to be waved around. Robertson had trouble with the pickup, and Detroit gets a run. Castellanos will get credit for a double. It's 5-1.
He was able to rip that ball right up the third base line. His 28th double already this season. It looked like that was a changeup, and that's why he's out in front of it. But he hit the ball hard. He kept it fair. And the Tigers finally get on the board.
Well, that will get some action in the Rays bullpen. It's a 4-run game, and here's Goodrum. And he strokes it into center field. Castellanos will score the throw back to second. And the Tigers make it 5-2 with nobody out in the ninth.
And Kevin Kiermaier out there, his body language is saying he wanted to uncork that throw to home plate. Wondered if he had a play here. Goodrum's going to shoot this ball out into right center, just stayed middle of the plate. And watch Kiermaier get out there, get after it. He wants to make that throw, decides better of it. Do I? I don't know if he was real happy with his ultimate decision.
Yeah. And Romo going to hurry up his warm-up process.
Yeah, but you know what? Ultimately, it's the smart decision, because if you uncork that throw to get the guy at the plate, the chances of you getting him,
slim.
Yep.
And then you've got a guy in scoring position. There's
right.
a line drive. Echeverria's going to get the force at second, and a throw over to first. Now, what did he call? Did he call an out on the catch? That's what he's going to call. He's going to call an out on the catch. That's Lance Barrett making the call and saying that the ball got away from Echeverria when he was reaching to take the ball out of the glove. Rays are thinking double play would work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what they were hoping for. But what an effort to get there. And that ball, that's what he's calling right there. I don't know if he ever had that fully secured. And that's what the Rays are thinking there. Now we're just going to go with a 6-4-3 double play, but
Hicks is retired on that line drive caught by Echeverria. Now here's Victor Martinez. Goodrum still aboard at first.
The question, did he control the catch to the ground and make a baseball move?
I know. That's a legitimate question to pose. 2-0.
Definite snow cone all the way down. The fact that he even got a glove on it was impressive. The ball ripped.
Fly ball into right. Gomez is there and makes the catch. And 2 gone. Don't forget, Rays Live, the postgame presented by WB Mason. It'll be Rich and Orestes around for the coverage. They'll anchor it all. Kevin Cash press conference and minor league updates from around the Rays farm system. All on Rays Live, the post game. That's going to be it for Kolarek, with Rodriguez coming up. Back in a moment. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Jackpot scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery. A new spin on a classic. They're loaded with prizes from $10,000 to $2 million. So unleash the excitement anytime. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket. Claim it. Sergio Romo. 9 saves on the year with a record of 1-2. Makes his 43rd appearance.
And he could get that 10th here.
He could indeed.
That.
Man on. Rodriguez the hitter. Potential tying run on deck. Runner takes off for first. The pitch is a strike. Goodrum moves up to second. That one by Rodriguez. Romo was in the game last night. In fact, Rodriguez was the last man he faced. He got him on a fly ball to right. 2 strikes to count here. And he strikes him out, and the Rays win this one. It's a 5-2 final as the Rays go to 47-44. 5-6-0 for the Rays, 2-5-0 for the Tigers. And here's the final pitch.
Making quick work. Dandy slider to finish this one off. Sergio Romo comes in, makes a few pitches, and does pick up that 10th save.
Alvarado will pick up his first big league win. He's 1-3. Romo 10 saves on the year. Boyd the loser 4-8. 2 hours and 25 minutes to play this one. And the Rays have taken the first 2 from Detroit. For Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats, great to have you aboard. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays Live, the postgame comes your way next. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.